Hello and welcome to this demo video. Before we get started, I'd just like to explain to you a few things which will relate to all of the basic range spreadsheets. Number one, there is a key on the intro and setup tab of all of the spreadsheets showing what the different color headers mean. The blue headers mean that the cell's formulated, so it's locked and you can't change it. The yellow headers are where you can input data, and occasionally there might be some gray headers, which is just a different kind of data input, but we'll include instructions as and when that happens. The other thing that you can be aware of is there are ways in which you can damage the spreadsheet. So please do take a look at the link where you see this image, which will take you to a web page to show you how to better preserve your spreadsheet. Please feel free to keep a blank version of the spreadsheet somewhere, so that if you do mess up a spreadsheet that you're using, you can in fact just open a new one, a blank one. And some of the spreadsheets only last for a year, and then you've got a blank one to start the following year. So do keep a blank copy as a backup somewhere. And lastly, wherever you see this image, you can click on it. It'll take you back to the store where you purchased this product to see if you've got anything, any more products. One last thing, to see a demo video, you can click on this on a link that looks like this in order to go to the demo video, but that'll take you to the most recent demo. If in fact we've done upgrades and you're using an older version and you'd like to see the demo relating to your version, then do click on the watch on YouTube link, which will take you to that specific video on YouTube. So I think that's all you need to know. So without further ado, let's move on to this demo video. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the demo video for the micro business income and expense. This is a spreadsheet that has been born from the facts of making tax digital. When HMRC put that into place, they're obviously trying to get people off of spreadsheets. They want people to buy software packages that are going to do the VAT returns and things for them. I personally think that's going to potentially cause some other issues, but nonetheless, this spreadsheet is for your absolute micro businesses. It doesn't even include for VAT, so you can't, if you're VAT registered, this isn't for you. But this is for the very, very small businesses, because often what happens is you'll get a business, you may be doing 10, 15 transactions a month, the odd coffee here or a networking event there, or your income, or you buy a laptop, whatever the case might be. You've got your odd purchases, and sometimes you don't want to have a massive software package to control that. You just want to have a simple spreadsheet, and I've made this one in order to do just that. Not only does it keep track of your income and expenses that you could potentially just hand over to your accountant, but it gives you some useful figures as well that will help you along the way. So let me explain to you how this works. It looks a little bit more complicated and is probably a bit more complicated than most of the basic range, but let me take you through it. You've got some set categories, sales and director's loan. Those have to be there. Obviously, if you're not making sales, I don't know why we've got this and why you've got a business, but you need to obviously be having some kind of sales. And then you've got your director's loan. Now, a director's loan is not a loan that you got from the bank. A director's loan is in the situation where the business has actually borrowed money from the director. Sometimes when you start a small business, you don't always have the money to pay yourself, so you essentially owe yourself some money, and that becomes a director's loan. So you can keep track of that. Then over here, we've got income tax. You can put your income tax percentage in. Now, I must just say at the beginning, this income tax is not an exact science. You can't just take this as the income tax you've got to pay. But what this will do is it will set aside worst case scenario. Once you've spoken to your accountant, you'll hopefully have a much better situation, and you hopefully won't be spending as much money as the spreadsheet says you would. But the reason why I've done it is just so that you can make sure you've set aside enough money throughout the year for your income tax. Your opening bank balance. The reason why it's got opening bank balance is this spreadsheet will last you for a year, so keep a blank copy, and then every year just start a new copy. So this one, say from May 2019, if that's when your financial year starts, you select May here from the drop-down list, and put in 2019, and it'll show you the date when it starts. You've got your director's loan opening. So if at this beginning of this financial year I had £220 in the bank, and the director's loan, the business owned the director £2,500. So it is positive. That's basically how much money the business owes as the director, 2,500. And then you've got your categories, so sales and advertising. I've just put in 2. You can list all the categories down there and down here. And those don't only have to be expenses, they can also be income categories. If you've got different streams other than your sales, you can break down to categories of different kinds of sales if you want, or expenses. You've got, I think they're 20 all in total across there. What are these ticks for? These ticks here that you select, that is really, is that part of your income and expense in order that would affect your, is it a value that would affect your income tax? That's what I'm asking there. If the answer is 9 times out of 10 is going to be yes, so you want to tick most of them, you may get something. For argument's sake, you may have a category which is your income tax payment. Now, obviously, you don't, when you pay your income tax, that won't affect your, because you're going to be paying your income tax for the previous financial year and the new financial year, so you don't want that to affect your balance. So an income tax payment, you would say, no, it doesn't affect, because that's not something that would affect how much income tax you got to pay the following year. So you just want to, you might want to ask your accountant what actually does affect my income tax, what will be included in that, because essentially what's going to happen is it's going to take all your income that's marked with a tick, and it's going to take all your expenses that are marked with a tick, and it's going to take the 2 of those, is going to take your income less expenses, and going to go, that's what your profit is. What's 20% of that? Boom, it's going to give you that figure in what you should have set aside. So anything that is not included in that mark with a cross, there'll be few and far between. Most of them will actually be marked with a tick. So once you've done that and you've set up this page, you're then ready to go for the year. And all you need to do is fill in on the transaction page. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns, and you're not even using most of them. So what do we do with these 7 columns? The first one is a date. So every time there's a transaction, put in a date. Select the category from the drop-down list. Those categories will come from your setup page. Put in a short description. If you've got an invoice number or a receipt number that you want to reference there, whether it be a sale receipt or whether it be an expense, you can put it in. And then if it's an expense, put the value in this column. And if it's an income, put the value in that column. That is basically all you need to do. You don't have to fill in the invoice and receipt column. The rest of them you do have to. If you start putting, if you, for argument's sake, leave that out, it's going to go yellow to say that you need to put something in there. Expense, income, and then this will show you if it's going to be included in the amount that you set aside for income tax. So because everything's ticked, everything will automatically be ticked here, and that will show you the value. If, for argument's sake, there's one particular one where you go, actually, this shouldn't be included for some strange reason, if that's a legitimate reason and you want to do that, then you just mark that as cross and it'll exclude that value. So you can come and override individual ones should you need to. But I would say, yeah, check with your accountant what's going to clarify, because as you can see here, so you got 250%, it takes 20%, but then if you sell something, if you buy something, it reverses that 20%. So it's always keeping an ongoing view. So this is by the end of the year, it says what you should have set aside for income tax, what your current bank balance is, your changes this year, your opening balance. It gives you all your totals, everything on this page as you go along. So you just need to fill in the transactions as and when they happen, and that is really all you need to do. There's a filter transaction list. What this is, it's exactly the same list that you got in your transactions, but you can filter it. So if you said, well, actually, I just want to see from the 1st of May to the 31st of May, shows you everything, that all the transactions you've done between that period, and actually I'd just like to see sales, please. It'll show you, it'll filter by what you put in here. So you can either filter by category, or you can put in a date range. If you leave it blank, it'll take all the dates. So if you leave both blank, it'll take all the dates. If you say, oh, for argument's sake, put in the 1st of June, it'll start from the 1st of June, everything beyond the 1st of June. But go to the end. So you can play around with that. You can filter. You could, in theory, just use the filters here to do the same thing, but I just thought some people aren't comfortable using that. So here it's fairly straightforward. If it's only got a certain number per page, a certain number of lines, if that's full, it'll say up here page 1 of 2. Then you can just come here and change it to page 2 of 2, and you'll see the second page. That's really all from the filter transactions, and then you move into the report. Now all of this is generated by your transactions. So you can see your opening bank balance activity throughout the year, closing bank balance. When it says closing bank balance, that's obviously current. If you haven't filled in all the months, it'll be up to date. What you should have set aside for income tax, your profit so far, your total sales. You've got useful monthly figures, so you've got your bank opening and closing balance. This is quite important because you want to check that these balances match up with your actual bank statements. If you hand this over to your accountant and those don't balance up, they're going to be on your case. So you want to make sure that these balance up with your bank statements. That's also an indication that you got your figures right. Here you can see your sales each month, your income, your expense, your profits, basically income less expense, number of lines. And as you scroll down, you can see income, expense, profit per month. You can scroll down, you can see your monthly sales. You can see your cumulative monthly sales as they grow. You can see your cumulative profit as well as your percentage of your profit. Your profit as a percentage of your sales each month. You can see all the different categories, income, expense, different average per month as a percentage of the income, as a percentage of your expense. All sorts of things. As you scroll down, you've got all your different categories broken up into your different months, all the incoming figures per category, all the expense figures per category, and then there's all your balances per category. So all of those reports are based on what you've entered, and some of that your accountant will find useful. Some of this, especially these graphs, you as a business owner may find very useful. You've got your filter transactions, all because you put in a few items per transaction, whether it be sales or an income, sales or an expense, sorry, income or expense, and you set this up correctly. When you get to the end of the new year, and you want to start a new one, what you could do if you don't want to set up all these characters again, is just take the old spreadsheet, save as for a new year, and then come to your transactions, highlight all the transactions, right click, clear contents. That'll clear everything, and then you've got a fresh spreadsheet for the next year. And all you do here is you come in and you change your starting year to the following year, update your bank balance and director's loan, and if the income tax needs to change. The one thing that we didn't, it does show you it says you set aside on your report. It shows you, so we've got the opening balance, the director's loan was 2,500. Your activity this year was 2,400, paying it back. Which means your closing balance is £100. So that would be the new balance for the new year. And you'd go on from there. There's your closing bank balance, which would be the opening bank balance for the new year. So you know exactly what's going on. I would suggest writing those down, copying those ones across to the center and setup before you go and clear all of this data, because you may just forget what they were once you've done that. But that's the spreadsheet. If this is something that you need for your business, if you've got a very, very small business and you're not paying VAT and you're not necessarily worried about making tax digital, and you want something like this, which is nice and compact and easy to use, then that would be for you. I don't know how long this will be valid for until HMRC start throwing their weight around as far as small businesses getting onto making tax digital and whether they'll accept this kind of thing. But if it's possible to continue using a spreadsheet, we will adapt it accordingly to accommodate for that. But let's see what happens. In the meantime, if this is what you need, all the best, and we wish you the best with your business. Thank you. Goodbye.